Hey fam, Eric here, and we're finally getting the Thor teaser for Doomsday that had been shown in front of the Avatar 3 film in select locations. Now, I'm not happy with this rollout. I talked about it on the Nerdcast last night in great detail, so head over there to listen to my full thoughts on how I feel about Marvel and Disney and how they're handling this rollout. I'm not really happy with it. We're not going to watch the trailer here because I know it'll get claimed. I've already seen it, and honestly, the buzz has died out around this trailer because the X-Men teaser has been talked about. So that's just a summarized version of my issue with this rollout. However, as a fan, as someone who's absolutely excited about Doomsday, it's very clear to me and many others just how homogenized the earlier phases were, meaning that there's not a lot of diversity in the lead characters in the earlier phases. And to be fair, even in the later phases, more on that in a moment. But we're getting blasted now with just outright bigotry during the rollout phase of these trailers. It's not even woke anymore. The word woke isn't being used. I'm not seeing it tossed around. It's just straight up bigotry. So I want to talk about what's being said, some of the stuff I've seen, and some actual facts. Shout out to Darren, who retweeted this, and that's how I saw this, sort of debunking this a little bit. But I do want to talk about this. So over here, we've got the teaser trailer. I believe this is the Thor one. There's also the Captain America one, but let's look under this teaser and see what's said here. Here we go. After flopping with LGBT and black heroes, Marvel has finally returned to its roots. So no more woke. We're not using woke as a buzzword to hide it. It's just now LGBT and black heroes. That's just it. Woke is gone. So I guess woke has been defeated by these guys because they're not saying it anymore. It doesn't really resonate anymore. Feels good to finally have them on the right side again. So I saw this and I wanted to do some quick math. This is kind of rough math, so I might be wrong by one or two. And correct me in the comments if you think that if I left any of this out. But if we're looking at all the Marvel projects, I think we're around 60 roughly between the TV shows and the movies. So that's an estimated number. It's around 60. But let's take a look at the movie side. I'm just going to read off the information here. The movie side to see how many movies actually featured LGBT or black characters essentially as the lead of those films. Because I'm assuming that that's what they're talking about here, is that these are major characters. So we're going to go with the major characters because I wouldn't count side characters or characters without any lines of dialogue or anything like that. I'm just going to count lead characters because those are the ones that are advertised on the posters. Those are the ones that are pushing the film forward. They're the ones on the red carpet. They're the ones talking about the movie to doing interviews and things like that. So we have 3 movies in the MCU with a black character as the lead character. 3 of them, unless I'm forgetting a movie. Now, I'm not talking about ensemble cast. I'm talking about just movies where they have a specific character as that lead character. The most recent one is Captain America: Brave New World with Sam Wilson as Captain America in that movie. And then the very first one we got was Black Panther back in 2018. And then the next one we got was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever in 2022, which you could even argue that's an ensemble cast, but that does count, obviously, because it is a primarily black cast in those movies. So we've had 3 movies with black characters as leads or co-leads of the movies in the MCU. We're talking like 40 movies. Out of 40 movies, out of 40 films, 3 black characters. We've had 0 LGBT characters as leads for movies. So I just double checked to make sure that there are no lead LGBT characters in the MCU movie side, and there are none. There are 0. There are supporting characters, and you can even say like 3rd or 4th in the lineup. They're characters who are queer, but they're not even like major characters. Like the biggest character that I can see that is canonically gay is Phastos in Eternals. And Valkyrie is canonically queer, but she's never like a main character. Phastos was a part of the main ensemble cast, right? So that's what we have in the movie side. So debunk that. We're talking like 3 movies out of like 39 or 40 films that had black characters as lead characters. So that's completely debunked, and zero LGBT. Now let's take a look at the TV side. I actually wrote these down in my notes. All right, according to my notes on the TV side, we have Loki. Loki says a bit of both. So in canon, mentions that during the series. Sylvie also counts as that. Agatha from Agatha All Along, and Rio, who are characters that had relationships on the screen, and Wiccan. Those are the only ones I can remember off the top of my head that canonically on screen have been openly queer. Those are all TV shows. They're not even movies. So my point here is these kinds of comments clearly stemmed from bigotry here in the fandom, make it increasingly hard for me as someone who is a fan of all of these things. I want all of them to be successful. It doesn't matter who they are. I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. I want all of these things to be able to come out and get judged on their merits. It makes it increasingly difficult for me to want to engage in that at all when I'm seeing comments like this on Reddit. I'm seeing comments like this on Twitter. I'm seeing content creators dive into this head first. It makes it very, very difficult. Now, for me, going into this next phase of Marvel, I'm going to be on here with my streams, with my videos, doing my best to make sure that I'm trying not to be jaded by a lot of this negativity going into it. Because look, I like Steve Rogers as Captain America. I like Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I like these characters in these roles, and I want to be excited for them. But I hate the fact that this community here, this hateful community, wants to take those things that we love, subvert them, and turn them into weapons against things that we also love. This is something that these guys do. They try to claim ownership over something that doesn't need to be claimed at all by anyone. These are supposed to be projects for everyone to enjoy, to have a good time, and they want to start the infighting. It's really fucking difficult as a fan to ignore this and to continue to be a part of the community without acknowledging that it's a problem, which is why I'm doing that now. And I hope you guys understand that I'm not going to make tons of videos about this, but I do feel like from time to time, it is important to make a video to call this out and to make sure that people understand that this does exist and this is a false narrative. This is not real. It's not a real thing. So even looking at all of the phases like we just did, there's still a lack of diversity in the way that these guys act like it's present. So I don't really understand what these comments mean in the context of Marvel as a brand in the MCU, which then flips it over and tells me that it has to be bigotry because it doesn't make sense otherwise. It doesn't make sense in any other context. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Are you seeing a lot of this on your timeline? And if you are you ignoring it? How are you handling it? What are you doing to deal with this on a day-to-day basis as we head into a heavy promotional cycle in 2026 for all of these Marvel properties? Again, join us on the Nerdcast. We talk about this stuff in great detail. We try to dismantle a lot of this hateful narrative because I want to be excited for this stuff. I'm ready for the X-Men and the MCU. I'm ready to see Captain America's interact with each other. I'm ready to see Thor come in and a bunch of different variants of Thor if they're going to do that from the comics. I'm ready to see all of that. This fighting within the fandom is so toxic. It's so incredibly toxic. And I think it's important to call out this stuff when it's not real, when it's not true. And that's what I like doing here. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below.